Alright, let's see how this goes. Gonna try and do a video tanking guide with the disclaimer that I am not a content creator. It's going to be a lot of stream of consciousness and maybe jumping around on ideas. Also, not the best tank. This is, it's still kind of early in the game. I might look back at this guy and I'll be like, ah, what a noob. And that's fine. But I wanted to start the discussion and go over what I have learned so far in trying to be a tank. Start off with some general tips. I'm mostly going to use the guide I posted on Reddit as a template / script. You can jump cancel anything, literally anything. You can actually lose discharges by jumping too early, which can be good if you accidentally barrel discharge but don't want to block your party. You can just jump out of it. But you can also cut the end lag after it hits and still get the hit. Cut the end lag. If you like to jump into her skill for a little bit better DPS and threat. Also good for canceling hologram projector animation and a bunch of other stuff. As well as Huma's attack strength, but we'll go over that later. Be mindful of boss position. This is very crucial in any MMO retank. This one as well. Later in the video, in the background gameplay, I did a very bad job of it on the boss, on the frog boss. It can be very difficult in this game because of how your dive attacks interact with boss hitboxes. And it's, not sweaty enough or difficult enough to really matter, but it's worth being mindful of as a tank. All skills have hit stun abilities, so if you can tank a hit, it's not going to do like an absurd amount of damage, but you don't want to get knocked around by it. For example, Sobek's death roll, you can just use a skill and hit stun ability. You still can be CC'd out of them, I believe. Some freezes and things like that and stuns will still take you out of your skill, but for the most part, you're immune to hit stun. It's not quite hyper body, but it's close. Discharge attacks can break most forms of crowd control. I believe I'll show some of that later in the background footage, but if you get grabbed by Robard's vines or that laser chick, if she picks you up to laser you or whatever, you can discharge out of that. I don't know if you can discharge out of Frostbot's super death freeze. It's kind of a special mechanic I haven't tried, but it's worth a shot if nothing else. And then another thing that's very useful is you can use grappling arm or the hand cannon to swap weapons without actually burning the discharge. Very, very useful as a tank, especially if you're using like Rig and you want to refresh your ice field and you don't want to waste your discharge on Rig. You can pull out the grappling hook, switch to Frigg, apply your Frost Domain, and use the discharge on Huma or whoever you would prefer. We'll move on to weapons. So weapons we only really have for at least the tank residents, the Fortitude residents, we have Huma, Meryl, and Henry. That is it until we get Sonic. I like to run 2 and not all 3. The best supporting weapons are Nemesis, Frigg, and Zero. Claudia, Shiro, and I think maybe Tsubasa are also good third weapons. At least if Tsubasa's A1 works party-wide, it's good as a party buff, but I don't know if it actually does. I haven't had a chance to test that. I've heard it does, but visual tip makes me think it might not. I don't know, it's not super clear. But, moving on to Huma. Huma actually hits really hard. I heard she got buffed in the Whirlpool, and she's very strong, especially once you get her AP. Even her shield hits is surprisingly hard. Does a lot of damage, good threat, fun rotation. It's in my opinion, one of the more entertaining weapons to use. A couple things to keep in mind is if you can't jetpack to do the instant slam, you can double jump, and if you're close enough to the enemy, it'll still do the jetpack dive. It's a little inconsistent, but for the most part, you get a feel for it. It has mostly to do with range. If you're not close enough to your targeted enemy, it'll do an aerial normal attack instead of the dive. The other thing is in axe form, the dash attack can be jump cancelled after the second hit, and you'll actually stay on the ground instead of jumping. And you'll see me do this a lot throughout the background footage, where I'll do 3 swings into a charged, like a hold attack for the slam, and I'll dash cancel that into a dash attack for the spin, and I'll hit jump and click really quick and just start another normal string. It's saves stamina, it uses dodges a bit, which I'm very bad at burning a lot of dodges. You'll see it on the frog boss. I get myself into trouble sometimes from spamming dash attacks. So maybe be a little cognizant of that, and maybe weave in more double jump attacks. But it is a very, very high DPS string, and great, absolutely great for shield breaking, so long as they're not firing you, obviously. You won't see me use Huma much in this because, or not Meryl, because everything here is like highly frost resistant. And this boss is like super hella obnoxious, so I'm gonna just skip it. Okay, NA is okay if you don't have Meryl or Huma, but have one of them. NA isn't bad. Her shield break is, like, her shatter rating is good, but most of her multipliers are pretty bad. If you need the shield break with her, the best thing to do is like dash attack and do a couple jump slams, not the double jump slam, just jump and slam with her. Make sure your seal is active first, the E, or whatever you have it set to. R. I have it set to R. But what makes NA fairly useful and potentially good in some encounters is at her A1, just for swapping to her, you get a taunt and a single instance of a damage block, which could be good for negating a single really monstrously big hit. Which, would actually be good on this boss. He hits me with his dive, his body slam a couple times, really hard to avoid. In NA, you can just block the slam every time. You're really strong. Meryl is Meryl. She's very strong. Fairly straightforward. You can spin to win. Her skill is very good. Very good combined with hologram for shield breaking. If you really are struggling with an important shield break, you can hologram and Meryl skill, and it just does absurd amounts of shatter. Very useful. Not much to say about Meryl. Her advancements all help. I only have A1, so I don't get the shields on Switch. But those are good. The one thing to just kind of keep in mind with Meryl is that her burst can mess with your team. Friendlies cannot shoot through it. Projectiles don't pass through. And they can get trapped nearby. try. If you're using it for shield breaking, it's not terrible because anyone who's helping with shield breaking is going to end up in melee combat anyways to help break the shield, most likely. But yeah, just be mindful of it. It can be useful on Frostbot, and I can't remember the name of the boss, the cyborg with the jetpack legs. Keeping them from like moving out of a rig domain if you have a DPS rig that's tied to their domain. The Frostwall can help keep the boss contained, and it's good there, so definitely a know when to use it type thing. Which thing of knowing when to use it, Huma's shield hold, very slow and only reduces damage by 50%, so it's not like super useful, but there are definitely good cases for it. You saw in the beginning of the gameplay background footage when I was fighting Sobek, but I used it to soak his burrow a couple times, and it still chunks pretty hard, but combined tank resonance and Huma damage reduction, it's pretty tankable. Doesn't hurt too bad. You can soak it, and it would probably work good on the Frog Slam too. But without Huma C6, I just often end up not being able to use the shield at the right time. It's fine. And interrupt my train of thought there. Just go back, because this is important. See the discharge to break the boss grab. It didn't seem to prevent the damage on this one, but on a lot of them, like the demon will like kick you into the air and combo you around. You can avoid the whole combo just by dispersing out of the grab or the kick if you get hit by the kick. You can also just hit stun immunity it, or like the iframes on the bridge or whatever. We'll cover later. Covered NML. So the other tank weapons, the supporting weapons, Brig is really good for both the iframes on her skill as well as her 4K simulacra trait. Like, you see the frog boss, he keeps like hitting me with a ground slam geysers. Near as I can tell, there's no way to really dodge those. You just have to hit stun immunity them somehow. They don't hit hard unless you use their fist like that. But the geysers themselves don't hit hard, they just stun you. But if you're in a brick domain with the 4K simulacra trait, then you don't have to worry about it. Very, very handy, very good. Not a terrible tanking simulacra trait by any means. And again, yeah, the iframes are good. You get infinite dashes, which you'll see in a couple points in this fight. I definitely beat up all of my dashes a few times. That's less of a problem with Brig. Also good for like learning a new encounter if there's a boss you're not super familiar with. And you don't know when or how you want to trigger Phantasm yet. You can just spam Brig. Pretty useful for just random Phantasm boss. Zero is very good, very good as well, especially for loot content. Anytime there's like a loot-wide heavy damage or one-shot mechanic or anything like the first raid, I know a lot of people like to line of sight behind the pillars, but you can also just use Zero's discharge to more or less soak it. Very useful. It gives you a little bit of sustain. And you can play him as a quick swap, which, as you see with how I've been playing in the background, you only really need two weapons because you can sit on camera for forever and get good value out of it. You can kind of sit on your discharges to a certain degree. So having Zero and sitting on that discharge is massive. It's so good. He's the only standard character I don't have though, so I haven't been able to mess with him. Nemesis is super useful. Provides some sustain, helps your healers out, does some extra damage, which for tank translates into more threat. The slow field is very useful on some bosses. If your healer for some reason isn't running Nemesis, or you just want like more slow, double the time. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I've heard Valkyrie and Frontier Clash Hard is made much easier if someone is keeping her slow with Nemesis. So that's good. Nemesis is nice on tanks as well as healers and DPS. Nemesis is just strong. Shiro and Claudia are good just because of their ability to provide the Grievous debuff, which it's a debuff to the enemy, so it increases damage to the that all the party members are doing by 20% or whatever it is. It just requires a little bit more of a mindful play, because when you build your discharge, that's what counts as a charged weapon, and that's when the status effects happen. So in my case, here, in the background footage, I just kind of sit on Yuma, and so I'm always burning the enemy every time the discharge meter fills. But if you want to support the team with Claudia or Shiro, then you have to kind of pay attention to your discharge gauge. And right before it fully charges, swap to the physical weapon. Once it charges, apply the Grievous debuff, and then discharge to whatever weapon you want to discharge on, and continue to fight. So, makes it a little bit more of a skill cap, but definitely good if you don't have a physical DPS on the team already. Tsubasa, again, I've heard her A1 is party-wide, but I haven't tested. The tooltip doesn't make it clear one or the other. I would assume it doesn't just from reading the tooltip. If anyone can confirm, or maybe I'll test later. But, Tsubasa could be good, just need the damage boost. Moving right along to relics. Just cover a couple of the main ones that are useful for tanking. I usually use Jetpack and Grapple Arm, partly out of laziness, because that's what I traverse the world with. Jetpack is of limited use. There are some like one-shot mechanics and stuff you can dodge out of with it. Modes that let you use Jetpack, because it's disabled in a bunch of modes, obviously. Grapple Arm is very good for being able to switch weapons without wasting discharge. Whenever I'm not running it, I find myself missing that as a tank a lot. I'll end up having to jump cancel a rig discharge, or just use it when I don't want to, or whatever. So Grapple's nice just for that, even if you don't have to use it to engage a boss or track a high mobile boss or whatever else you can use it for. Very versatile, very good. You can dodge attacks with it, provides a shield and damage reduction. Kind of natural tanking relic, very good. The jetpack's good for, like, you can do jetpack cancel stuff, but it's not enough faster than the double jump to be worth the slot, in my opinion. But, whatever. The hologram projector is monstrously powerful on a tank, because tanks get the 60% shatter boost, and while hologram only does 35% of your damage output, the shatter seems to be unchanged, so it literally doubles your shatter. Very absurdly strong with Meryl. You can Meryl discharge, jump as soon as it lands, activate the hologram, jump that as soon as it appears, and then hit her skill in the air, and just obliterate shields. If you're struggling with a shield break that you really want to shield break, like again, Valk and Frontier Clash Hard, that is the way to do it. It also works very well with Huma's shield. Some weapons like Frigg, hologram projector works really poorly with, because when you dash attack, the hologram dashes backwards, But with Huma, her air slam moves her far enough forward that and her dash attack in Axe mode and the air attack, she has enough moves to give her forward movement that the hologram will stay pretty well locked on to whatever you're fighting. Good threat and damage boost, incredible shatter boost, definitely very, very strong and worth using a lot of content. Couant is obviously very good, increases damage and threat, which is cool, but also gives you the one-hit shield, similar to NA. Very, very good. I actually probably should have used it here instead of Jetpack. I could have just Couanted every single body slam. Not that it really matters, because obviously you can take the damage and current content just fine. But I have heard from some Chinese players that later on, tanks and tank stats will matter more than currently they do, which will be cool. Omni and Shield is good just as a team support damage weapon. Not great for actually blocking projectiles. Someone commented in their Reddit guide though that it can block boss movement. I haven't tried to experiment with this yet, but that could be very useful. The only downside is that most of the bosses you want to keep from moving move often enough that the cooldown on the shield would just kind of make it not worth running unless you have a bunch of people with it and they cycle through it. But I don't know. It seems like a lot of relic slots to waste in a group. But it could be worth experimenting with, playing with. If you guys want to mess around with it, let me know. I might one of these days if I get bored. Alternate Destiny is probably one of the best. I haven't used it or experimented with it yet, but just reading the tooltip, Alternate Destiny is busted, especially for tanking. It gives you 8 seconds of hit stun immunity. You won't drop below 20% health from attacks. So one-shot mechanics won't hurt you. On the first raid boss, if you do it late enough into his projectile spam, you could just soak the one hit and keep your DPS up fine instead of hiding behind a pillar. At later advancements, it starts to give healing and life leech and good sustain for the whole party. It's really a good just all around. If you're not a DPS trying to A5 your Omnium Shield ASAP, I would say that Alternate Destiny is a very good one to focus on. And then Hand Cannon is good for blocking projectiles, avoiding some one-shot mechanics. It can be used to hit some obnoxious aerial enemies sometimes, but if they don't stay near the pillar, you still end up screwed. But, the use case is there. The drone, I did not cover in the guide yet. I need to go back and read the tooltip and see what it does, but someone mentioned in the comments that it offers a fair bit of damage reduction, so that could definitely be worth running as a tank if you need the damage reduction in later harder hitting content. For stats and equipment in current endgame, I would just say build like a DPS. You don't need the survivability at all, just Fortress Resonance, more than enough survivability. But again, I've heard from a Chinese player in the comment section that eventually resistances will matter, and he can still keep threat with I forget what he said, 11k elemental attack and 2 or 3k hit, something like that. Not low, but pretty good. and resistances definitely make up the lion's share of your effective health. Way stronger than HP. Resist all, I haven't done the math to find out how much better it is than the single resists. Partly depends on the encounter, obviously, how much of what element is coming out and doing damage. So, if you want to be super sweaty, you can have a high resist set for each, and a generalized like resist all set. And I've started locking pieces that could potentially become tank sets down the road, but for now I'm just sticking with damage with DPS gear. Once my healers start struggling to keep me up, I'll start worrying about resistance gear. Similarly with matrices, is that we don't really have the survivability right now. But I still like to run 2-piece Zero and 2-piece Coco, or just to be tankiest I can possibly be. Zero gives you a shield when you discharge on a weapon, so it's not a massive shield, but it definitely helps. And the shield appears to hit stun immunity. I haven't like 100% tried to confirm this, but I think it does, which is also nice. And then 2-piece Coco not only increases the healing you do, which is good if you're running Nemesis, but also increases the healing you receive. So all of your healers will do 10% more healing to you for using 2-piece Coco. If you don't want to use that on your Huma, you can use it on like Meryl, especially if you have advancements on Meryl. She can be kind of an oh crap button, more or less. You switch to Meryl, get her shield, get the Zero shield if you disperse, and then get the increased healing. And you know, I prefer that to her 4-piece. Though her 4-piece, if you're running like Zero, Zero can increase stamina generation. So that would allow you to, you know, spin to win, heal up a bunch, switch to Zero, recharge a bunch of stamina, switch back to Meryl, spin to win some more. Could be good for trash. I don't know. Seems, at this point in the meta, it seems like more work than it's worth, but worth keeping in mind. Huma sounds potentially really strong. I don't have Huma 4-piece yet to test it. The 2-piece adds up bleed to dash attacks, I believe, which you're often doing with Huma anyways. And then the 4-piece makes anything afflicted by dot damage, and from the way the tooltip reads, it sounds to me like it would work with anything like burn, or, you know, maybe the poison matrix from the SR one I don't remember the name of on Shield Break. If someone else is running that, you know, another player, or, you know, Brick players running 2-piece Huma, that might all proc 4-piece Huma for you. And the nice thing about reducing enemy attack is that it doesn't just make you tankier, but if there's any like AoE attacks that the boss does that hits the party, it could potentially help reduce that damage as well, which may be important later on. Again, content's not hard enough for that to matter right now, but worth noting. Could be good for the future, for sure. And then after that, if you don't feel like you need the survivability, it's the usual 2-piece Shiro for Shatter, or 2-piece Crow, 2-piece Samir, or what, you know, kind of whatever. The SR matrices, if you don't have like a bunch of SSRs yet, Frostbot is pretty good. It gives you an emergency heal, sort of on discharge, similar with Zero, but reactive instead of proactive, which, you know, could be good or better in some situations. Not bad to throw on your oh crap weapon. Yeah. Echo could be okay. I don't really feel like I struggle to get discharge, partly because I keep Huma out so often and her charge is so good that I just always have discharge aplenty. But if you're running like Zero, Echo could help you with your discharge uptime. Robard could be good for the shatter. I need to test and find out. The way it's worded, it makes me think that even if another player shatters the enemy, they'll still get poisoned by your Robard, which could be pretty good. A little bit of extra damage, but if it only procs when you shatter, I would ignore it. Testing required. Sobek's good for DPS, good for threat on tanks. It's, you know, what can I say? It's Sobek. You'll always be near the enemies, so you'll be getting benefit from it regardless. Barbarossa is another one that could need some testing. Depending on when in the damage calculation process, it calculates the reflect damage. It could be very good. If it's only reflecting the final damage, then obviously everything you're doing to mitigate damage will reduce how much Barbarossa reflects. But even still, like if you soak a Sobek burrow and it does several 100,000 points of damage, it could be really good. But again, I haven't tested it, just reading tooltips. Could be worth playing around with. If anyone else has used it, please let me know. Go to the Reddit guide. Let me know what experience you've had from UP Barbarossa. And then I think that's it for the guide. Thanks for watching. If anyone stuck around this long. If I think of anything else, I'll just have to update the Reddit guide, which I'll link below. And again, thanks for watching. If you stuck it out, listening to my disjointed ramblings. Happy tanking and face burying.